Very briefly, who we are. We are two NGOs. Yes, Europe is an European community dedicated to empowering students and young professionals across Europe. How do we work? We have a platform, a Discord platform, where we exchange our experience and disseminate knowledge, and we establish connections. But we are also proactive in organizing events, webinars, and informative sessions about energy transition and sustainability. We are a large European network, and we also have regional groups. I am the country representative for Yes Europe Italian delegation. ESG Sustainability is a non-profit organization that is committed to disseminate sustainability, especially in the corporate world. We help people, youth, in landing greener careers, and we are mainly involved in the fields of renewable energy, waste management, biodiversity conservation, and climate change mitigation. We work together for this project that's called Empowering the Future, Green Jobs in the Energy Transition, with the scope to explore the worlds of green jobs and energy transformation. What's inside this project? We will uncover the green job market, we will learn skills that, and we'll also discuss about the skills that are needed to succeed, but also understand the crucial role of the energy transition. Thanks to experts and real-life examples, and we want to make informed career choices and career decisions and be part of a clean and green future. So thank you again for coming, and I'll leave the stage to Kingsley.
Oh, sorry. So we're having a little bit of technical issue where people cannot join in. It's giving an infinite loop of login and it never gets in. And so, Mariana, can you please do that? And then I just
Yes.
So, from my end, good evening, everybody. I'm Kingsley, co-founder of ESG Sustainability. Today, we have the final or the fourth webinar we're doing before we go on the break for summer, because already in the country where I reside, everybody's already on holiday. So this is the last one before we join them, and then we reconvene after August and to finish up the series for the year. And this series is very dear to me because the topic we're talking about today is talking about real life strategies and how do we incorporate sustainability to corporate world in day-to-day activities. So I would like for you to please join the Mentimeter for a little icebreaker for us to warm up before we give the microphone to Marco. And please give a thumbs up when you are in so I can know that you are in. We have around 14 people here, so hopefully I get 10 people in and we can start with that. So please a thumbs up when you are in so I can know that you are in, and we can go from there. Oh, 2 people. Oh, we have a hand up. Stein, is there a problem?
No, sorry. I couldn't find the thumbs up.
Okay, so Wally, do you have a problem? I see your hand's up.
No, actually, I'm trying to put thumbs up, but I can't. I don't know how.
Okay.
Yeah.
We have 4 people. I think the rest can join in as we go, so that we would have enough time to discuss what Marco has for us. 5. So, all right. Cool. First of all, we want to gauge how to have this discussion. We want to know what is your background, and we've talked about it already in the introduction, but I already have this slide up before the introduction, and this will help us to know what kind of languages would we use and how do we break it down to you, or break the topic down to everybody to understand. So for customization, so we have somebody from my field, environmental sciences. Hello. Francesco, I think. Oh, energy engineer. Oh, I know you. Mariana, energy engineering. So a lot of us are from the engineering background, or environmental engineering background. Applied physiology. Well, that's interesting. That's really interesting conversation about biology, biodiversity. So it's still part of sustainability. Any other person coming in? Oh, I have 6 people. Energy engineering MBA and sustainability in masters. Okay, we have a very, very, very learned audience today, I would say. And so we go to the next question, which is kind of an open-ended question. I hope I'm not leaving anyone behind. So the next question is about how much do you know about strategies, ESG strategies and management? Do you have an idea already, or do you not have an idea, so that we would know? We have one person that have just enough. A little bit, a fair share. Okay, so on average, a fair share more. Okay. One more, 2 more persons, and then we move to just enough. Okay, so one person knows a little bit, 2 people has a fair share, and 1 person have just enough. So I think that would be able to lead us for the rest of the conversation. Oh, more is coming. So a lot of people know, and somebody say, Marco, are you the expert?
I'm just enough. I'm not the expert.
Okay, we have an expert in the house, so I am looking forward for a very good discussion this evening, as we have an expert in the house. So on the next topic, the next question is about when you hear sustainability, what does it mean to you? You know, what does sustainability mean to you as a person? And so I'll read off the responses when I get it in. I know it's like an open-ended, so I'll leave more time for it. But what does sustainability means to you when you hear sustainability? What does it mean? How does it appeal to you? Yeah. Okay, respect, contribution, and collaboration. So I guess this is from a lot from the social aspect of sustainability and governance, also from the environmental aspect of contribution, the only way forward. Amen. I believe that is the only way forward for us to have a very good future. The right equilibrium between environment, economy, and people. Yes, which also ties down to respecting resources, people, etc. Having the best quality of life possible while keeping something for the next generation. This is also legit. I think this is the first sustainability definition I had in my undergraduate about how do we do environmental sustainability. So sustainability is a practice of meeting current needs. So a little bit of what the last person said, but in a less technical terms. So protection of the environment and the people, yes, ethics, decarbonization, and proper use of resources. So Marco, you could see we have a very learned audience today. So with this, I go to my last question because we don't have enough time. But the last question being, what comes to your mind when you hear circular design? You know, must it be like a circle? Does it have to be like the type of a mug? So what when you hear circular design, does it mean just drawing circles? What comes to your mind when we hear circular design? The questions are really meant to warm you up for the rest of the discussion with Marco. And so it's a little bit of what you would see in the main discourse that we're going to have today. But the point is that we want to hear from you and know what's your knowledge already, and then we can go from there. So Oh, finally, welcome, Federico. It's been 10 minutes that you've been trying to get in. Okay, we have one response. Circular design is creating products and systems that can be reused, repaired, and recycled, minimizing waste and extending their life cycle. Okay, this is wonderfully written. It defines and describes everything that I know about circular designs, even including upcycling, recycling, etc. To keep materials and products in cycle, not using fresh resources, keeping good quality of life for people, yes. While designing, putting in mind no waste concepts, yes, or also reuse concepts or rethinking logistics. Wow. Okay, that's really nice, especially if you're thinking about upcycling. How do you get the products down to back to you towards the end of life? Rethinking how companies design their products and how it can be reused. So these are wonderful answers. And right now, I would like to hand over to Marco because this is the last point that I have to share with everyone. So I'm handing over to Marco for the main dish for today, for the main course of the meal. Hi, Marco.
Good. Thank you. Thank you for giving me the floor. I'm sharing with you my presentation. Let me check if you can see it.
Yep.
So can you see the screen? I'm coming from a company, as I mentioned at the beginning, with some of you, some other join later. I work in Vibram, which is a company, an Italian family company, which produce high performance rubber soles. So the component for shoes is a B2B business with some B2C that we will see later. We don't want to compete with our customer manufacturing shoes, but we would like just to enhance their possibility to give to consumer, to citizen, the right product to be safe, comfortable, and going over the limit of what they are doing. Just to give you a flavor of very brief about Vibram, because we are not talking today about my company, but just taking the company as example for what I want to share with you. The company is 55 million pair of soles in a world of roughly 24 billion of shoes per year. So it's a peanuts, but by the way, is considered the leader in the market because it's one of the only one brand for sole which is known. I mean that the other are the shoemaker, the brand of shoes are making the sole on their own. We are present mainly in the three areas, Europe, US, and Asia. With some factories, we produce internally 25% and externally with third-party manufacturer 75% of our production. And this is important because you will see how in sustainability the control of the supply chain is important. But for us, comparing to other companies like, I don't know, fashion business, where the companies are only brand and style and they have everything outside in production, is more difficult to control the supply chain. For other companies which are manufacturing everything internally, is more easy to keep their control on the supply chain. Apart that, we are based on innovation. So our word is to innovate. We are in several fields. We come from outdoor and sports. We are quite strong in work and safety and military. Let's say the technicality makes us able to serve the people who work and to do something very technical. We are present in fashion business, as I mentioned, the dress and casual that you can see here. But the one of the product I like the most, or the business I like the most, is the reparation business. So of course, for sustainability, getting a shoes a longer life is something that is important for us as Vibram. The other I was mentioning in terms of B2C is Five Fingers. I don't know how you are familiar with the funny shoes with five toes. These are, let's say, peculiar business born with the fact that our innovation model is based on we try to understand the needs of end consumer, athletes or professionals, and we get the solution on their needs. Then we go to shoemaker saying, okay, we know that need, we have the solution on the bottom, you have to do the upper of the shoes. And in the case of Five Fingers, nobody was believing on the business enough to do the upper, so we did it on our own. That's the reason why some of our B2C is based on not being competing with our customer. As you can see, we are, let's say, the 323 million to turnover is the record year of 2022 after COVID and so on. Now, let's say the normal level of Vibram is 250, between 250 and 300 million of companies. So not huge, 800 people internally. So nothing too big like a billion company or so. This is the history. I don't want to touch it too much with all the steps. Let's say Vitale Bramani, the founder in 1937, created the first sole in rubber. This was the period where there was the exploration in the mountains, so in the vertical exploration of the world. And he found that the old sole were made in let's say leather and spikes or things like that, and he wanted to do something more safe and more comfortable to give the opportunity to the people to overcome the limits. I normally show this, let's say the history, only to mention that in 1994 the actual owner of the company invented this compound where we were able to recycle part of our pre-consumer waste, so the industrial waste. This is because even when sustainability was not an issue or not, let's say, the priority of companies, we realized that the production of waste was one of the material, let's say, of the relevant topic for Vibram. So there was already a kind of trying to adjust things, so to use our waste. Then in the years you see that we made a lot of things, but we will touch later on. When I started to take care of sustainability, just to give you the flavor, I was the R&D director, the global R&D director of Vibram before. So based on innovation, and the owner of the company came to me saying, can we make some project about sustainability? And I realized, studying a little bit the topic, I was not an expert, and I have to say that I was not even too much sustainable. When I studied, I realized that I was not that much sustainable. So the first step was trying to understand what we should do and which are the driver. So at the beginning, I came back to the owner saying, no, we cannot make a project on sustainability. Sustainability is not a project in the meaning of having a beginning and a end. It's something where you create a program, a real strategy, which need to be integrated with in the strategy of the company. So we analyze all our vision, mission, the values to understand if this was let's say, in line with the principle of sustainability, or if there was something that was against or in friction with that. So I was lucky because not every company has, let's say, at least the flavor coming from the nature, from outdoor and sport in open air. Of course, we were respectful of nature because it would have been stupid to be killing the kindergarten of our customer. And from the social side, being a family company, there was a sensibility on this respect. So I was lucky to start this project or this, let's say, beginning of the program at the beginning, because many things were already in line. So this is just to give you what is in my case, and this is my example, but in general, the path of many companies. So you start to measure and you understand where you are. Then, and I see that in the audience there are a lot of engineers, so you understand the importance of measurement, because you can really identify and talk about what is reality with facts, and not only with the flavor that we would like to be kind and nice on sustainability. But if you start from a point and you go with some target, you can address projects which are the strategic project plan on the sustainability, following the strategy and changing the KPI and so on. So we defined with the strategy, the driver, the main pillars of the strategy. Then we declare it, saying we don't know exactly what to do today or what will be the result, but we know that we have this relevant topic, like for us, energy and waste are the two major one, where we are impacting people, impacting the world around us, and we need to bring our effects, our changes internally and externally in order to improve that. So carry on with the measurement. One of the most important projects for me was starting with LCA. The life cycle assessment is something that today is probably one of the only international standard on sustainability, where you can see all the impact you have, including CO2 and the global warming, but including a lot of other aspects. So global warming is not the only one. We started with the first, creating even the PCR, so the methodology to measure the sole LCA with partner, and we started with the National Center of Research in Italy to create not only the first certification for the source, just to establishing a standpoint, a beginning, a milestone, but we created a tool, a kind of algorithm, which allow us today to bring all the primary data every day on our production, and we can calculate the LCA of every one of our products. Today we are manufacturing roughly 20,000 different SKU, so we are able in the internal and external factory to measure all of them. And this was the beginning. Of course, it took 2 years to do the first, then another year and a half or two to establish the rule of the algorithm in the factory. And then now we are replicating factory by factory, depending on some technologies and some of the variances. But we are able to do it. And this is something that is important, in my opinion, to share with you, because probably you know the Green Claim Directive. Today, you cannot say that you have something sustainable or you have some principle of sustainability if you don't have scientific data to demonstrate it. So this, from my perspective, is something very important. The other project I would like to give you is not, let's say, taking the example of Monitor for Circular Fashion, is one of the driver that I think important for us as a leader in the market, to try to combine expertise in the industry in order to make, to influence the industry together with others. Due to the fact that we are horizontal, so we are below the shoes of many brands, we can influence more the footwear industry in a certain direction. So we identified that fashion was one of the major, let's say, the major polluted, or if you want, the one which in the years is becoming one of the more observed industry. For Italy, fashion is very important because it's 12% of the GDP. So we needed, and we went with Sta Bocconi, which is one of the major economical university in Italy, and we created a kind of cluster where all the ring of the chain, of the supply chain on fashion are in order to identify which are the best practice, the KPI, the common language, and we are talking regularly, responding to the pledge of the United Nations and the Euro community to give them the, let's say, the right suggestion to make the next level of legislation. And this is important because, of course, in sustainability, you can see that there are some pioneers, company which are starting before the other and giving some examples, some suggestion, doing things at the beginning of the journey, but it's expensive. It's not something that sometime you can do only with your own money in the company. And if you do it as a pioneer, as a leader in the market, and then the other are not following, you risk to go too much ahead and to don't have the other following you. So you need to cooperate and make collaboration with many companies in order to go all together. On this, I can tell you that even the Blue Sign Partnership or the Footwear Collective, which is born in 2023, so is not present in this presentation because we are publishing the sustainability report in the next few weeks, where we will have the 2023 numbers and examples. But we do many of these examples, many of these let's say experiment cluster and collaboration in order to bring many industry in this direction. The Footwear Collective, for instance, is based on the sneakers, so how the sneaker is made today and how it should be made tomorrow in order to improve the impact and reduce the impact of the industry possibly. Blue Sign is a certification company in textile where we gave all our knowledge on footwear in order to enlarge their methodology from apparel to footwear as well. And this is, let's say, some of the examples that we can bring. Then, even if I was not a big fan of making the sustainability report, I realized that after a few years where we were making action, there are a lot of companies in the supply chain, let's say manufacturer for us or customer, that are asking a lot of data. Normally, they are asking questionnaire to fill in their data because everybody wants to have control on the supply chain. So we found that making the sustainability report, which by the way in our company will be mandatory in 2 years, so in 2025, made in 2026. So that will be something where we needed to prepare the journey and to give a document where all the numbers, all the indication of our sustainability journey are present, even explaining the failure, because it's not everything perfect. The journey on sustainability is hard and long, but at least we can give all the information and we don't need to fill in all the questionnaires of every customer. So this is just some enseignement or some topic I would like to share with you. As every company, we refer to some of the SDGs. As you can see in this representation, for us, water is not present, not because it's not important, but it's because in our process, water is not entering. So we identify, like I mentioned, energy and waste as more important for us because we have a big impact and we need to do things to improve. So we created these 6 pillars that you can see here, where waste, energy, I mentioned already, product innovation, product and process innovation in reality for us are the key of our business since ever, because we are bringing innovation in the market in order to push and to have to be over our competition. And then the other 3, organization and procedure, managing the stakeholder and handling and controlling the supply chain are the 3 that in my opinion are more normal, let's say more related to every company. More or less everybody needs to give to get an organization, etc. So just to mention very quickly our organization, which can be an example for you, we created a global strategic committee. So few people, the owner of the company, the 3 general manager, the area general manager of Asia, US and Europe, the 3 operation manager, HR and myself, we are meeting quarterly in order to see if the KPI and the objective are in the right direction. We are all the projects that are going in the company are bringing the result that we are expecting, and we communicate to the operating committee. The operating committee in our case is roughly 45 people in the company, 1 per function and geography. no one of them is belonging to sustainability. The Department of Sustainability is only 2 people. We just had a few weeks ago a new stage, an internship coming to help us, but we are only 2, maybe 3 in the future. But it is not a department where we have a lot of people. It's just because we would like to drive the indication to make consciousness about sustainability, because sustainability needs to be made every day by everyone in the company on their daily job. So it's important that we try to give the driver, give the evidence of what we should do in principle, but everyone, even in the factory, every worker, bring his own ideas to make something new or something different. Not everything is working because they have only partial view. Maybe viewing in the full system, we can adjust and drive the direction, but it's important that everyone is informed. And so we created this, let's say, ambassador, the operating committee, which is sharing with in the company or giving the evidence of the strategy. And from the other side, if there is an issue, they raise their hand and say, we have this issue in, I don't know, marketing in US, and they can and we can identify if the issue is a kind of fire that we can switch off and that's it, or is something that they see before the other, and it will be coming to the whole company or to many other functions. So we bring the issue in the strategy, we create the procedure or a project to address the issue, because will be something important for everybody in the following time. So in terms of product innovation, I can tell you that we are working on material. So based on the LCA, we identify which are the major issue and which are the topics. So I believe more in circularity than in bio-based, because bio-based is something interesting, but if it's a waste from other industries is okay. But if we have to take fresh resources from the nature, can be good, but can even destroy the nature. I mean, if all the companies of rubber, let's say sole manufacturer, pneumatic manufacturer, are going to take natural rubber for their products, probably we are going to cancel the Amazonian forest in order to plant rubber trees. So I didn't mention, but our product, the core of our business is based on synthetic rubber coming from oil. So this is another impact that we have, of course. So circularity for me is a key. And on the other side, I have to say that the majority of our success are coming from the process improvement. So process changing something that in the beginning was only, let's say, in the direction of profitability and productivity. Now with the glasses of sustainability, we are changing something. Our process, just to give you the simple example, is a kind of compounding of ingredients, creating the compound of rubber. Then the rubber is molded, let's say, with temperature, pressure, and time. You cook the sole like a pizza. You make the pasta before and then you cook it. When you cook it, of course, you create waste and is not reversible. But the main point is the fact that when we can play with temperature, pressure, and time, we can make with the same result some adjustment in order to reduce energy or to reduce the waste, and we do things in the right direction. In terms of the thing that I believe can be the real future of companies is eco-design. So working with the companies, with our customer, to redesign the shoes concept. Maybe just to create an exaggeration, tomorrow we will sell steps instead of selling soles. So maybe revising the business as sharing, using, and not in reality only selling steps. So in terms of what I was mentioning already on LCA, this was the journey, and I can tell you the LCA is very important, and this is making some adjustments or some indication on the process. Here we identify that the majority of the impact of the process was the gas prices. So we cannot change all our presses to electric presses, but when there are new investments, we move to in the direction of electric, because electric can be by renewable sources. Gas presses today are very difficult to get biogases or things from renewable sources. As well as in the material, we identify that synthetic rubber with carbon black was the major one, but of course we cannot take it off. If not, people will fall down when they walk. So we need to identify, and LCA is a very big tool, important tool, to create something in the direction of understanding where R&D and operation need to work in order to get a solution or go in the right direction. Energy, I mentioned already that we are fully renewable, let's say fully in Europe and in US, where we can, let's say, commercially take and buy the renewable energy. In China, for instance, we take what we get. So the government create energy, and the energy in that country is 53 renewable and 47 not renewable. So you can see that our product mix balanced, let's say, in the average of production is 88% renewable. But by the way, apart of the certification, we are trying to do a lot of projects in order to reduce consumption and to make something more clean where is possible. In terms of waste, I think that is important to tell you just the fact that we consider three types of waste: the raw material waste of others, as raw material for us, the pre-consumer waste, and the post-consumer waste. In terms of raw material, we tried a lot, and we were able to substitute something in the process, but not really in the material of our product as of today. Of course, we are still searching and going in that direction, but I'm less confident in short term to get success. We are quite clever in the pre-consumer waste, where circularity is in the right direction. So we have a good usage of our waste. As you can see, the 50% of our waste is going to recycle or reuse. In reality, in Italy, we have 80% of our waste which is going to recycle and reuse. 15% is going to energy, let's say burn to create energy, and only 5% is going in landfill. The point is that in US we are not so clever, just because legislation is not forcing many people to go in the same direction, and there are not a lot of projects which can help in making more virtuous use of our pre-consumer waste. In the post-consumer waste, for us is today quite difficult because we are a B2C and not a B2B. Sorry, we are a B2B and not a B2C. But in the future, in Europe more than in the rest of the globe, we will have the extended responsibility of manufacturers. So the producer will be responsible. As of today, we have the electronic and electric component, which are, let's say, with a consortium where you have to recycle it properly. This will be from 2025, will be as well for apparel and footwear. So we will be more facilitated to work, because we have already a lot of project where we can use the end consumer waste in reparation business. For instance, we take the sole of cobbler in order to reuse it for making playground for kids or carpet for the athletic piste. So we have project, but we don't. The logistic is quite expensive. With this legislation, we believe that things will improve soon, at least in Europe. I will not talk too much about people, but we, of course, as I mentioned before, we needed to make all the people aware. So we created a platform for e-learning, and we make a regular session on information and training. But the thing that, in my opinion, worked the most was our no-profit activity. So we created a various type of non-profit project, where for us, non-profit is not donation, but is hour of our people dedicated to projects. So we give the possibility to everybody to work one day in some project that we decide or we propose. and the people feel more engaged, happy because they see the result of their of what they are doing. And for us, is really an education and bringing some value to the local community or to the environment of our let's say mountain or so. The other thing that I want to mention, but I already spent some time, is the community, the collection, the collaboration that we are trying to do. I gave you already some example like Monitor, Footwear Collective, and Blue Sign, so I will not spend too much time, but we really believe that with some other people in collaboration, we can really do a lot. I mean that the sum of the effort of many companies are really giving results which are a lot bigger than the arithmetical sum of the effort. In the supply chain, which is the last, let's say, topic for us, it's very important to control. And I think that the world is changing now from the customer-supplier relationship to real partnership, because you need to be partner with your third-party manufacturer or your supplier. If not, you cannot obtain some information. And with this information, you qualify your supplier, and will be very difficult to change and to switch in the opportunistic way in the future of the supply chain. So it's very important to give them, or open your book in terms of what you want to do, accept that they sometimes are clever than you and they can teach you something, but on the other side that you need to find a common path, a common ground to work all together in the same direction. And I feel that this is something very important and very difficult, because not everybody, I mean, we are coming from a very competitive environment where the capitalism of competitiveness bring people to keep their secret, not sharing information to give you the value of their side. And from the other side, you need to respect them very much in order to give them their value, and not to, let's say, negotiate only on price, but really on the full service and the full information that they are giving it to you. So it's really delicate, and you will see that in the future there will be a lot of attention on transparency and traceability. And I think that the key role of the supply chain is really to work with them in the right way. Say that I will not spend time on, you can see in our balance, in our sustainability report, all our goals and the topic for the future on the pillars I was mentioning. I would like just to share another point, another little topic related to communication, because communication is very delicate in sustainability. When I started my journey 7 years ago in sustainability, the owner of the company told me, we do sustainability, we don't talk about sustainability. At the beginning, for me, was perfect, because I was spending a lot of time in doing things and not to justifying what I'm doing. Then at a certain point, we realized that if we don't talk with your colleagues, or you don't talk with the supply chain, customer and supplier, to say, I need your help because we are doing this project, of course, this is bringing a lot of difficulties to make things happening. So we needed, and we evolved our communication in the term of good, trying to lead, to give example, to give the idea of what we want to do, but without sharing things like I'm clever because I make this product and this product is sustainable. So this is not the communication that we would like to do. On the opposite side, we try to give values, to make people identifying with our journey, with our values, in order to go in the right direction. My last slide is related to my learning, and I think that maybe this can give you some inspiration on future trend and things that I believe we should do. First of all, you need to measure. I mentioned it already. Then materiality. So out of the 1,000 things that you can do on sustainability, you need to find which are the real impact that you have and which are the priorities, because if not, you always go to do you make things but without an impact, without people understanding because what you are doing. And consider that sustainability needs to be profitability. I mean, you need to make sustainability profitable. If not, only when there is a fashion or somebody is falling in love with sustainability do things. But if there is not money related to that, at the end, companies sooner or later will cut it or will not make things happening. And if you think about sustainability is research of efficiency and avoiding waste something. So there is a big portion related to creating cost saving or creating money for the company. So it's important to identify the materiality things. And with the indicator, the key performance indicator and the key performance objective, you can realize if you are moving in the right direction or the effort you are doing are not bringing result. As I mentioned, transparency and traceability are very important, and you need to make I'm not saying anymore the consumer, because I believe that citizens need to have all the information, because when I manufacture something, I give an impact even on the people that are not using my product. So citizen needs to be informed about my impact and about all the effort that I'm doing to bring things more sustainable. So this is quite important in the future and will be a trend for the future to work on the digital product passport, blockchain, all the words that are related to the traceability and transparency. The other thing that I mentioned, maybe not too much in terms of top line of the company, is the management by objective. When I was able to make at least one goal per function related to the end year result and bonus, of course, I had an engagement from the top of the company, which was creating acceleration on the action that we could do. So making all the function, operation, R&D are obvious, but of course even marketing and sales or the financial part, everybody aware that we are caring about some sustainability and they can elaborate something on that. This was really an acceleration, as well as I mentioned the engagement of all associates, all the employee of Vibram. Then creating partnership can bring result more easily because we work all together instead of, let's say, working in a disgregated direction, so the effort are not so efficient. And in terms of communication, communicate your values, lead by inspiration. Try to inspire others because you are doing something good, and this can be seen from the footwear industry in our case, or from the citizens that are coming with us in the volunteering project to bring something positive for the local community or the environment in what we are doing. So say that I think that I cover enough topic. If you have any question, this is a QR code of our report of sustainability. So if somebody is curious, you can find a lot of details more. But of course, I'm available for any question, and I hope you found some topic interesting in the conversation. Let's say in my speech.
Thank you, Marco, for a wonderful presentation and talking us through the whole processes and the whole step. It's not common that people are very open about the steps that they take and show the steps that they take to get to where they are. And it would help us a lot to know, okay, how do we do stuff and how is it practical to initiate a problem, a solution, by actually quantifying the problem and having a quantitative analysis of A, B, C, D, E, and then picking up what affects us the most. It's almost 8 o'clock, so I'm gonna allow for the audience to ask questions that they want to ask. Also, we wanted to also let you know that we have in both organizations associates, because you mentioned you guys may be looking to add one more person to your team that are in Italy and they have the skills in sustainability. So you can let us know when you need somebody. We can give a very good recommendation to someone that have the skill set that would help your company in the area of sustainability. So we have 5 minutes to go per se. If anybody has a question, they can now ask questions.
Maybe Francesco raised his hand.
Oh yeah, Francesco. Sorry.
Yes, I have several questions for you. If I may, yeah, thank you for your presentation. And I have some questions about, especially for your presentation about waste and energy. So I memo during your presentation some questions
Please.
about the first. It's about circularity. So I want to ask, what are some of the most successful circular processes or projects that have been implemented so far?
Sorry, I didn't
And
catch very well the line. I don't know if the line is not good, but I didn't catch exactly what you said. Can you repeat it?
okay, basically I have 5 questions, and I would like it to be presented to you smoothly. So first, my question is about circularity, and what are some of most successful circular processes or projects that have been implemented so far?
Let's say in circularity in our company, we have first part of our process, which is compounding, where everything in every step can be circulated back in the compound. So if you have some waste or something that is going out of the process, for instance, the waste of production, you can bring it back in the compounding, so in the mixer where you compound things. So we now time are working on taking the old compound, the first batch, back in the second batch maybe of production, because you can rework. A second example can be the EcoStep compound, where on the vulcanized rubber, we grind it and we can create some parts, some mass of our compound based on vulcanized rubber, which is a waste that we normally throw away. Then another example can be the fact that we are using, or we are giving our material to external company, like cement companies are using our waste, our rubber waste, to create energy in the formulation, like creating the clinker. Or in some cases, there are companies which produce and manufacture pump for irrigation below the desert. Instead then bringing the water on the air, they are creating pump with grounded material, so the water is coming out from the pump, which is underground. So the water is going directly in the ground and being more efficient in some country where the let's say the hot temperature are creating evaporation of water, and they can go directly in the ground. There are a lot of projects, and as I mentioned in the presentation, even the playground for kids or piste for athletic pitch are made by rubber grounded, even from pre-consumer waste or post-consumer waste. With an association, we are able to give the full shoes, the sneaker shoes for running. They grind it, separate the upper from the bottom, and the bottom is going in this type of material. I don't know if this answers your question.
Yeah, that's so awesome. And if that time allows, I have one more question for you. Yeah, in terms of energy, you said about the CO2 avoidance. I memoed about my questions, but what are the main initiatives that contributed to avoiding, you said, 5,642 tons of CO2 through the purchase of electricity from renewable sources?
Let's say that was very simple, if you want, in terms of change, because we just changed the contract from a supplier of traditional energy to a supplier of fully renewable energy. So hydraulic in Italy and in aeolic energy in US. Of course, the other step can be make a solar panel in your factory, or create some auto production of renewable energy. Of course, this is quite important, but for us was more, let's say we cannot, we have a structure of our factory where we cannot bring a solar panel in the let's say in the roof of our factory or things like that. So today is not very convenient, or the payback of making our own energy is not, let's say the payback is not short enough to do it. But we are always investigating different kind of energy, because of course solar can be one, hydraulic can be another one, aeolic can be another one. We are investigating if we can do production, auto production. On the other side, and this 5,600 that you see in the presentation are based only on the change of supplier. In terms of the reduction, we measure everything in the company in terms of every machine consumption, and we found a lot of, let's say, waste of energy consumption that we saved, and we make a lot of saving, even in terms of money saving, because we reduce the consumption of some of the machinery.
Thank you for your answer.
All right, Marina.
Yes, I don't know if you still have time or if you have to.
Yeah.
Okay, just very briefly, like I'm a sustainable ambassador for my business unit at work, and what I found out is that it's very hard to stay updated with the regulations, because it's a huge topic. There are so many documentations, and sometimes, especially at the beginning, you feel a bit lost. What would you suggest in that sense?
Let's say, of course, there are a lot of driver on sustainability regulation that are changing now. So, of course, the Euro community is bringing Europe, from my perspective, decided to have the lead on sustainability, to bring all the regulation more strict and improve. Of course, this is creating. I'm not saying problem, but in terms of the companies are forced to follow many things. I have personally a consultancy company which is raising the point every time, because knowing everything on my own is impossible. And then when there is a new legislation, you need to understand if it's relevant for your company or not. So depending on the businesses, for us, I mentioned water is not so important. The extended responsibility of the manufacturer is important, but we are a B2B, so it's more important to help our customer to follow this kind of regulation. Even CSRD and everything related to it's quite difficult to know everything. It's like in the companies, normally you have the legal department, but they cannot not know all the law on their own. Normally they refer to external legal expert of some field, and they ask which are the topics. So my perspective is really to collaborate with others, and as well as collaboration like the Monitor for Circular Fashion, Footwear Collective, and so are the cluster of the industry, where sometimes you have information from other companies that they see something before, or they are involved in other table of discussion where the new legislation is coming first, and the advice between I have to say that coming from R&D, where R&D manager were very skeptical in giving any information, when I came and I joined sustainability, in sustainability, everybody wants to talk with others, let's say sharing and collaborating in order to help each other, because the world is very difficult and very wide, so we can do things together in a better way.
Thank you.
All right, any other question? If there's no question, then maybe we can go for dinner.
In case you have question at the end or later on, you can ask, I don't know if directly to you, and you can forward it to me by email, but anyway, in any case, you can find my LinkedIn, and I'd be happy to have a conversation if you need some information more.
All right, thank you, Marco. Also, Mariana, one thing that would help in business-wise is identifying the frameworks that your business unit want to report on, whether compulsory or voluntary. Like if you are doing example, asset management, and you have to do financial disclosure, then you know that you're dealing with SFDR. If you're doing CS3D, then you know, okay, in my business unit, this is what we do. And then, so example, there's a lot of NGOs that I know that are involved with the new regulations coming out. Like now the CSRD is going back to for review, and these guys, they know what's going on and they can interpret it to you. But this is on a general note for everybody. Thank you so much for coming today, and I'm very sorry for the technical issues that many of you encountered. Like we say, technology decides when to be your friend and when to be your enemy. We'll share the link, this video, to Marco and to everybody in a week. Then we'll hear from us after this summer vacation, maybe after August, on the next things that we plan on doing together in this series of webinars. So thank you very much, everyone. Thank you, Marco, again, for replying to our email and giving us your time. Really appreciate that. And have a nice evening, everybody.
Thank you. Bye. Good evening
Bye.
and good summer.
Yeah,
Ciao.
you too.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Goodbye. Thank you.